I saw that there was another person with an MW. Why is that? There's no MW here.
That is just meeting with.
Oh.
That's just like the stock name before it loads in.
That's really dumb.
I don't make the rules. Like I've already complained about our platform.
Maybe you should
part of
platforms.
Do you have a suggestion?
Zoom.
Okay, we are locked into 40 minutes?
Oh.
Okay.
So
we have to be less than 40 minutes.
Google Meets.
Google Meets? We could. I think that also has limits.
That's fine. We can deal with Skype.
We're going to try Google Meets next time.
No.
I'm looking forward to it.
No? Okay, well.
No more Zoom after COVID, please. God no.
You've been rejected.
My life is...
This is the Experience Podcast with me and someone else.
Arianna!
That random dude that comes on every now and then. Not a noosh.
I think Chase, I think you are more frequent than Arianna, who only really comes on once a year.
Special.
She travels the world, so we have to...
Here, that's not true. I know I am a special guest, but it is not once a year.
Let me see the last time you came on. When do you think the last time you were on was?
Well, I talked to Chandler. That was the last one.
Yeah, that was in January.
Okay, so it's been half a year.
And then the previous one was... Okay, so it's about every 6 months, it looks like.
Yeah.
You know what? I'll give you that.
I haven't spoken to Chandler since last year.
Chase, I don't think I've spoken to you since you left Georgia Tech.
Indeed. I kind of fell off the face of the earth, sort of.
How have you been?
I was really shitty for like the past 6 months, and now I'm getting better, so excellent.
Well, I'm glad to hear you're getting better, but sorry that it was shitty for the last 6 months.
Appreciate it. How have you been?
Pretty good. Living life. Grad school is life. Super duper fun. Right now, life is internship plus research on the side, which is like extra fun.
In what's your specialty in grad school?
My master's is in human computer interaction.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And my research is very niche. It's animal computer interaction.
Very nice.
Hear some about it if you listen to one of Daniel's episodes.
I shall.
One that's probably from like a year and a half ago.
Oh. Yeah, I've officially ruled grad school way the fuck out, personally, but...
That's fair. It is a decision that I made.
It is a lifestyle choice and a commitment.
Daniel, how are you? Haven't spoken to you in 6 months.
That's true. It's been about 6 months. No changes. Next topic.
Well, I'm glad that life, I'm assuming, is good. Since last time we talked, it seemed good.
Was it good last time? I don't even remember.
I don't even remember. I just don't remember anything bad, so I'm assuming it was good.
What did happen since last time? Nothing really.
You went to, see... Did you go see Nadia? Or did you see Maisie?
Was that this year? I think that was last fall. I think you're thinking of two episodes ago that you were on.
I'm sorry. Well, I think both of my 2 last episodes were with Chandler, to be fair. So it's
really
mixed up. I think so.
That's not. I will say the combinations are usually not intentional. It's really just whoever responds that week.
Also, I think it's more fun when you don't tell me who it is.
Hang on.
Oh, okay. Because I've received plenty of complaints about people not knowing who it is.
Well...
Excuse me, there's a fucking bird that has always been right outside my window, and at evening, that's when the little bastard starts to chirp. Every single day without fail, because it doesn't know what morning is. Anyway, continue. Sorry.
What are you going to do about it? Huh? What?
I'm thinking about shooting it and barbecuing the motherfucker, but anyway.
Oh, wow.
That's what we usually do in America, is we just shoot our problems.
I can think of a couple things in and or around America that could be shot and solved, but, you know.
For legal...
Anyway, Arianna, your thoughts on shooting?
Huh? What'd you say, Daniel?
Your thoughts on shooting things.
On shooting things? I don't believe in guns.
You don't believe that they exist? Or?
Yeah, it's a figment of our imagination. No, I don't believe that we should have them. I mean, I could maybe be convinced that people could have some guns, but not automatic guns. And I also think that there needs to be a crap ton more regulation on being able to own a gun, and that needs to be fixed. And I think that is something that should be reasonable. I understand people not wanting their guns taken away, but maybe there should be, like, more regulation on owning a gun. When things like driving a car takes so much effort to be able to do, but, like, having a gun does not. So, yeah.
Alright, well, we didn't ask you to get political, so...
Well, you actually did.
We have to cut all that out. I mean,
I wasn't
Jesus.
going to talk about
Fuck, censor it all.
I know, now we gotta censor...
You guys asked me, so... Not gonna...
I don't think this podcast supports the freedom of censure, so we're gonna have to,
Censure her. Oh dear.
cut as...
Wow, he's silencing me, Daniel? Is this a man silencing a woman?
Well, let me explain what that means to you.
Will you mansplain to that?
Oh, that's good.
Chase, as a white man, what are your thoughts on guns?
Well, if I do declare, personally I think everybody should have mecha, and we should all have highly advanced laser swords and laser guns by now. But there's some problems with that. But yes, I want everybody to have legally mandated guns. I want everybody to be mandated to have a gun. I think it would solve a lot of problems in the country, personally. Do you believe in Darwinian evolution? Something about natural selection.
Boy.
Anyway. Oh shit, I'm sorry. We have to censor that one. Your monetization's fucked.
Yeah. Dude, take out all this. This is all...
This will all be deleted. We can change the subject. I'm knitting right now as I'm speaking to you.
Aww.
Okay, are you knitting a gun? Oh, shoot.
Oh, shit.
Oh, I said...
Stop talking about guns. I want this episode to be titled Gun.
G-U-N. It's a Sonic reference.
How's the knitting?
It's good. I've never knitted before, and I'm making a top. I can turn my camera on, and you can see. Ta-da!
So for the audience, she's knitting.
Yeah, I'm knitting. And hopefully I'll be done making a tank top by the time I can still wear a tank top and not when it's cold out.
Oh, okay. I wasn't sure where you were going with that. I didn't...
Oh my gosh, Daniel.
I don't know. No, I had no idea. I was like, what do you mean by not being able to?
Well, I'm just saying I don't know how long it's going to take me, and it might end up being fall.
How long does it take to knit an article of clothing?
It depends on how good you are, and considering I've never done it before, I don't know. I don't think it'll take me the whole summer. I have faith in myself.
Yeah, because you got like 3 months, right, to do it, probably?
Yeah, and this is the product of maybe 2 weeks, so...
Oh, you'll be fine.
Well, that's a good start.
Thank you. what are y'all up to? What are your fun activities that you've been doing outside of work?
Neuroscience and aliens.
Explain.
Which one, and in which order?
Whatever your heart desires, Chase.
Well, I have been, over the past 7 months or so, getting my head zapped, basically, and slowly regenerating my brain map. And I have solved, with a lot of mushrooms, meditation, and exercise, and diet changes, and all these little micro hacks that I learned from the likes of Dr. Andrew Huberman, and I hate it on earth. And ultimately, I have I have significantly tapered off depression, anxiety, psychosis, moderate schizophrenia, maybe, bipolar disorder, all kinds of nasty shit that I had in my head that, it's been a rather tormentary process, but finally coming out of it.
Wow. So you're curing yourself by zapping your head, is that what I heard?
Not quite. Basically a lot of mushrooms.
Okay. Oh, were you like microdosing? Is that what it is?
No, I didn't have access to psilocybin. And if I had, I would have done the heroic dose, which is probably not a good idea considering what was in my head.
You're saying a lot of things that I don't really know what they mean, Chase. I'm just assuming things.
Oh, that's fine. Don't bother learning either. It's a bunch of small percentage points, and hopefully very soon it won't matter for anybody. But ultimately, it's basically just a bunch of, for lack of a better term, neurohacking. Because what I've discovered is basically every major mental disorder is literal brain damage.
Mm-hmm.
It's like I find personally, and having been on this journey, I can tell you right now, I find therapy and psychology in general to be a joke, because I tried all that shit for a while and it didn't do a damn thing, and then I started, doing the physics solution or the biochemistry solution, and it, sure enough, it's produced results I'm truly grateful to have, although, it's been a shitty process getting there, so.
Gotcha. Well, good for you.
And then, what about you? I'm sorry?
Oh, sorry, no, go ahead.
I was going to say, and then there's the alien stuff, which, oh my god.
Please explain.
Well, I have gotten quite into alien stuff, in general, for various reasons. That is all.
That's all? What's the most interesting thing that you've learned about it?
Oh my good god, where the fuck do I begin? Tell you what, I'll put it this way. I think we're going to be contacted soon. And, basically, god, I really can't say much yet. But, suffice to say, there's, God, I literally don't know where to go with this. There's so much I could go to, but suffice to say, I think we'll be contacted by friends from outer space soon.
Okay. What do you think they look like?
There are humans in outer space.
Okay. So
there are also other species.
What do you think about the slight change of topic, but what do you think of Crocodile Jesus?
Right along the flying spaghetti monster, I worship them daily.
I am obsessed with Crocodile Jesus.
Yeah?
Yeah. I think it's hilarious. What is the most surprising thing that you have learned in your alien adventures?
Holy shit. Where do I go? Well, I suppose I should... I guess I'll talk about what I have, physical evidence for and not my personal theories. But suffice to say, I have paid attention to the ISS feed pretty rigorously, and I've watched some damn ships decloak and cloak right in front of it. So that's all I can say. I think people ask, on a serious note, people ask the question, are we alone in the universe? And the answer is, that's not even the right question to ask. It's, why aren't they here yet? And the answer is they are. The more rational question is, why the fuck are they not allowed to land?
Yeah. I mean, the government released that footage.
Oh
Well,
yes. So there's a number of government releases of shit, and suffice to say, one of the most successful propaganda campaigns in American history, regardless of your politics, has been the censoring of basically alien content. This is, linked to the space race and what we did with the Soviet Union in the 1960s. And this dovetails with a lot of different content and a lot of it, admittingly, a lot of it does get into what I'll call conspiratard territory, of which I'm very familiar with various things in religion, spirituality, and, well, UFOs. But suffice to say, a little bit of common sense will solve most problems. And if you just take a look at the history of our government, you see what the UAP committee is. There's that whistleblower last week, I think, actually. The whistleblower that came out from the UAP committee from House and what he was denied access to. And it's suffice to say, our state knows, and furthermore, our state has technology. Let's be real here. They have the technology. Area 51 is real, and the question is to what extent it's real, and again, to what extent we've been interacted with. Everything else, I think I can speculate on, and I'll simply speculate if asked, but I won't take up your time with that.
Gotcha. Cool.
Daniel, what's your opinion on aliens?
Radio silence.
Lots of process.
Yeah, hold on. No, sorry, my thing took like a minute to unmute. And I had all that time, and I don't really have any thoughts. I haven't really been following alien.
Oh, okay. I thought you haven't been following.
No. I haven't been following this conversation. Sorry, I haven't been following the news around it. So I am not informed, as particularly to Chase's level.
What's the first thought that comes to mind with things like that, for example?
Yeah, I don't really. You're asking someone who doesn't form opinions to form an opinion.
Please form an opinion.
Yeah. I really don't. I really don't have much to say on this. I guess I do find it interesting. I don't know. I guess regarding your question of why haven't they
been allowed to land?
Yeah, why haven't they been allowed yet? I guess that's kind of where I am right now.
Well, nice. You skipped all the bullshit.
I have a question.
Arianna, go ahead.
If there are other living beings in the universe, which I think I would believe personally, maybe. I think it's possible. I don't really know if I have strong opinions because I'm not well informed, but I think it's possible. If they look like humans, how would we know that they aren't already here?
They are.
I mean, like, on Earth.
They are.
But you said they aren't able to land.
That's where it gets complicated, my friend. But you see, so I'll go into speculation for myself now. I guess I'll start with because our culture has asked the question for a long time, are we alone in the universe? You have to start with things like the Drake equation, which is the probability that we are finding intelligent life everywhere. The universe, as we know it from the Big Bang, which I believe is fundamentally wrong, but that's a different topic, is, I'll round down even, 13 billion years old. Our galaxy is at least 4 to 5, if not 10, usually a lot long. It's actually a lot older, but let's say, we'll go with our planet actually, it's 4 billion years old. Now we know from the fossil record that microbial life started around 2.5 billion years ago, and then our model of natural selection, speciation over time has led to the emergence of us, Homo sapiens, over, after a number of cataclysmic events on the planet and other things. In that time, assuming because the implicit assumption we all make is that, well, humans are special, right? In the sense that we, and more specifically, not humans are special, that Earth is special, is that we evolved, to be this higher primate on Earth, so to speak, and that we basically are implicitly imputing our model of evolution upon the universe. We're saying that, well, it took us this long to evolve. Life must be very, very uncommon. The universe is billions of years old, right? The probability is one that when you start thinking about it, the probability is one that we're not alone. So then the question becomes, well, hang on a minute. Why haven't we been visited? Because naturally, you're going to have contact between different races of people, different species, et cetera, that are interstellar, right? And interstellar, as we can observe from our own civilization, interstellar travel is inevitable. It's an inevitable result of enough, knowledge, technology, et cetera. So what ends up happening is, when you connect the dots, we have been visited. But what we observe around us is a fucked up, what I believe to be an intentionally rendered primitive society, that is, in many ways, I believe, totally exceptional to the norm in the galaxy. The question is, wait a minute, where the fuck are the aliens? Well, like I said, I've watched their shit. You see all the UFO videos, you see all this shit. They're obviously in orbit around the Earth. If you see the videos, right? If you see the ISS feed, if you see things like that. Now, the question is, well, and the next thing I like to talk about with people is the invasion narrative, right? Because we have in our culture these movies like War of the Worlds, et cetera, where you are, well, we're going to be invaded by aliens. They're going to harvest us, probe us, resources, whatever the fuck. Total nonsense. Why? Why the hell would they need us? That's the question. It's like, why the hell would you need this species or this planet when you have interstellar travel? Furthermore, we know from our own nature, right, which is, somewhat as above, so below, but we know that there are good people and bad people. Surely there must be good or bad aliens, right, so to speak. Now, if they're here, if the bad ones were here to kill us and invade us, wouldn't they already have while we were more primitive? I mean, that's the question that I ask people, and they're like, So we're obviously not going to be invaded, right? Now, the next question, you start parsing this out, it's like, wait a minute. You're telling me there's spaceships in orbit around the Earth. Yes, 100% provable. In fact, there's an event that happened recently where one literally crashed in Las Vegas. You should look that one up sometime. It's a fascinating story. But there's all these layers of information or of misinformation, right? There is, how do we know what's in space? NASA, ESA, the space station, the ISS, the JWST, the James Webb Space Telescope, the Hubble Telescope. Everything is filtered through NASA. And I will allege that there is an informational conspiracy there present at NASA and ESA to censor content from space to us. I will simply allege that and leave that aside for now. Now, the problem is, wait a minute, if they're here, they must be watching. Why are they watching this disaster? Because if they're good, wouldn't they want to help? Right? And the answer is obviously they want to help. Right? Because if any of us, if we saw a wounded animal, right, what are you going to try to do with it? You're going to try to nurse it back to health. You're going to try to maybe, or a wounded person is perhaps better. You're going to take them to the hospital. You're going to say, sir or ma'am, are you okay? Are you in pain? What can we do with you? That's the kind of empathetic response you have. It must be the case for at least some of them out there. Yes, that's the empathetic response. Your planet is sick and fucked up. What are we doing? The problem is, well, why wouldn't they land? And you go through a number of reasons that you can talk to. Is like, well, what if there's a non-interference principle? Well, then why is there tech on the planet, right? You go through a number of iterations of like, well, are they being kept from us to an extent? But then again, are we powerful enough to stop them from landing? No, neither is our government. So the only logical conclusion is they're prevented from landing, right? Which is fascinating to me, because we have a planet here where people who want to help other people, and that's fundamentally what, we call them aliens, we can call them extraterrestrials or whatever, but they're peoples who want to help other people, are fundamentally fucking prevented from helping other people. And that's why I think there's literally an exopolitics going on that is, somewhat complicated. Now, I don't know. I can't really tell you more than that, other than, I think in some ways where things are progressing and smoothing to the point where eventually contact will be made. Frankly, at this point, I'm convinced maybe by accident. But, ultimately, that's what I think our scenario is. And I can guarantee you're going to see more contact over time, right? The question is when. And of course, we're on Earth and we're busy with Earth life. And listen, I don't expect anybody. First of all, I don't expect anybody to believe what I say. Number one. Number two, I don't expect anybody to be forced to pay attention to, alien shit, right? Everyone has a 9 to 5. Everyone has their lives here. All I'm saying is, this is the answer to the fundamental question that I'm frankly tired of hearing from people. Because it's not anybody's fault. It's just so ingrained in our culture of, are we alone? I ask the question myself, and then, you start looking for evidence, you start reasoning through it, and you come to conclusions, right? And now I'm fascinated by the question, right? Why aren't they here yet? And then, when you ask that question, you can go into all kinds of conspiracies that involve the state, involve exopolitics, involve a number of different things. And it's all just sad. I mean, it's one of the most horrific things I can think of, is we're prevented from, we are kept in a cage, basically. That's kind of an inescapable conclusion. And it fundamentally infuriates me. But, that's another conclusion.
So, I guess what I was trying to say, though, is, what about the lizard people?
The reptilians? Oh, I'm sure they're, I don't believe in reptilians, no.
I don't specifically mean what about the lizard people. I mean, if they look like us, then how do we know if we have not already just been interacting with aliens in our daily lives? Have they not been, pulling the strings and controlling our society?
Well, oh Christ. Jesus. I don't know. I think there's influence. I absolutely do think there's influence. I have to be kind of careful what I say, because I can't tell you the entirety of my beliefs without you either thinking me insane or immediately asking for me proof, rather. Sorry, a little tongue twister there. Suffice to say, I believe that we are interacted with quite frequently. I don't think they're in control. I think fundamentally all three of us have free will. Therefore, we have the ability to, exert some control over our environment within the parameters of physics, right? And so I feel like there is interaction, and that's about it, right? I do think they're here. I think they're doing more than observing. I think they are interacting in ways that are subtle. And that's all I can say.
Okay. Daniel, what are your thoughts? Do you have any opinions? Mr.
Arianna, you're huh?
I said, Mr. I have no opinions.
I don't. Arianna, you are really concerned about what they look like, though.
I am.
That is your one and only concern.
Okay, there is one conspiracy theory that I just think is, so fun, and it's that Mark Zuckerberg is a lizard person.
No, he's a robot, obviously.
He really does look like a lizard person.
There is something off about Mr. Zuckerberg. I'm sorry.
I've been called a robot as well.
Daniel, I want to hear about your hobbies.
My hobbies?
What have you been doing in your free time apart from your podcasts?
My free time? That's gonna take some thought. I don't know. I got a fantasy baseball team. I guess that takes up a few minutes every day.
Okay. I have another question that's like somewhat related. It's not super personal, but it's about hobbies.
Hobbies.
So, what do you guys think is like the definition of a hobby? Like, is it something that I do in my free time and like that's just it? Is it something I have to be skilled at? Is it something I have to do on a regular basis? Like, what are the qualifications of what can be a hobby and what cannot?
Well, I've monopolized the conversation, so Daniel, will you take this one?
A hobby. I don't think you need skill. I'm gonna rule out skill
Okay.
for a hobby. I think it's something that you do by
like,
choice.
Is your fantasy baseball team, is that a hobby?
I would consider it a hobby.
Okay. Sorry, continue. I interrupted your definition.
Well, Arianna, you've done fantasy football. Would you consider that a hobby?
No.
If you do it every year.
I guess if I was a little more involved in it, then maybe.
Yeah.
But, like, I just didn't really give a shit. So, like,
Oh, you know.
I don't think I would call it a hobby.
Okay, so if you were involved in it more.
If I was, like,
So there's a time commitment.
researching to find out, like, the best players to keep on my team and all that stuff, then maybe. Yeah.
I mean, looking up their pictures to rank them by attractiveness is part of the research.
Hey, I didn't really do that. I picked players that had fun names.
Okay.
And ones that I'd heard before, so I thought they were good. And I was right.
Yeah, so like, it's a time commitment thing, right? If you put in a certain amount of time, I don't know what that threshold is.
Like, and then
It's
also,
dedication.
my question is, like, do you think that something that is something everyone else does can be a hobby? Like, if I said, like, walking is a hobby? Would you agree?
Yeah, I feel like we can have a very inclusive definition of hobby.
Okay. Good to know.
Chase, go ahead.
Well, hobby is basically something you do on Earth to kill fucking time. Some trivial skill or something that means something to you that you basically pour hours into until, well, hopefully life improves.
So hobbies are a means to death. Is that what you're?
Indeed. Terminally boring.
They're just in the way of death.
Well, hopefully not for much longer, but anyway, I mean, I guess, so I guess one of my hobbies is video games, and it comes and goes. I'm not quite as interested in it right now, but it's just something you sink time into that means something to you that, you're kind of fiddling around with. You don't even have to do anything with it, really.
And Arianna, your opinion of Hobby Lobby?
It's an alright store. I think I would prefer to go to a place like Michael's or Joann's or something. Hobby Lobby I don't even know if I've been to a Hobby Lobby. It's got like home goods type stuff too, right?
It's got things related to hobbies. It's like a lobby that has goods related to.
Have you ever been into a Hobby Lobby, Daniel?
I don't know. I don't think I have. You know what? I probably have. I've probably been in the Hobby Lobby. But I don't remember.
It's really funny. Okay. What is one thing that the both of you miss about
You?
One thing you miss about Georgia Tech, and one thing that you miss about the marching band.
Well, I'm going to cheat and say the first answer is marching band, period. And then the second thing is probably just the specific kind of little social interactions that happen every now and then, these little moments. Whether it was, one of the dwarfing things or whether it was the goddamn... Daniel, do you remember were you on the Florida trip with Josiah when he saw the chick on her knees in the fucking elevator?
Yes, I was.
What were your opinions on that?
To each their own, I guess.
Indeed. I've come to be more accepting of such things over time. However, not for me. Anyway, continue.
Yeah. Oh, I didn't start. Okay. Things I miss. Things missed. What happened? Yeah, I guess the social interactions are definitely different than they are now.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Whether that's related to
the answer was supposed to be me.
I was getting to that.
Okay, I'm sorry. Continue.
Oh my God, Arianna, you gotta give me time to build up to you. I'm not just gonna start.
Okay, lay it on me. Tell it to me.
Okay. Anyway, I lost it all. It's the social interactions which are different now after the pandemic and moving away and getting a job and this particular job and that sort of thing. But you really miss the interactions with some of your best friends. I mean, one person in particular. I don't like to usually name names here, but I have to call out Arianna because.
Aww.
That was just irreplaceable, I guess is probably the best word.
So true. Thank you. You're irreplaceable too.
Next topic.
Next question is, what is something you don't miss about the marching band?
I don't miss the days where I didn't get to see Arianna.
The days that I did rehearsal?
Yeah, the days where what was the last year where you missed like half the rehearsals? Is that right? Last year I was there, sorry.
Oh yeah, you weren't there anymore, but yeah. I came to only Friday rehearsals.
Yeah.
It was awesome.
It was not awesome because I missed you on the other rehearsals.
Well, you weren't in school then.
It's Arianna, it's metaphorical.
None of the days were awesome, actually, because I missed you every single day.
Chase, thoughts on Arianna missing me?
A Greek tragedy in 7 acts. Anyway.
So Daniel would say this if he were here.
You had a placeholder? You wouldn't know because you're not. You wouldn't know what I would say, or maybe you would.
True. I don't know. I knew you well enough.
Yeah, maybe I've become predictable.
What is it that you don't miss about the marching band?
Being drum major, actually.
Hot topic.
Because part of the job was fantastic. The rest of it sucked.
Did you get to hear hot goss with the band directors?
How, what now?
As drum major, would you get to hear hot tea with the drum majors? With the band directors.
Well, before practice or rehearsal every day, we would get there 30 minutes early and have this half-assed, half-baked fucking planning session for the day or whatever, where Simo and BJ would DJ.
BJ.
Yeah. Get some letters confused sometimes. But anyway, it was, I don't know, you would get to know, and they would be like relatively calm or relatively seething, depending on what would be the day. And it was just a bunch of like basic shit, and the behind the scenes was a whole bunch of everybody was tired of everybody's shit, and the behind the scenes sucked. Really, it was boring as fuck, and I don't know.
Interesting. Okay. Heard it here, folks.
The rest of it was cool, including forgetting my fucking the bowl game when we got our ass beat by Minnesota. I forgot my boot or my shoes, so I did the sock tape thing, and Simo was livid at me. Oh my god, he was so angry.
So wait, you forgot your shoes or your socks?
Oh no, I had socks. I put the socks over the shoes like half the like at least 10 other people did.
Okay.
Okay. Well, yep.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
No, I'm all out of questions. So.
Are you all out? You're done. I think we can end it there. We've talked enough about just to recap: guns, aliens, our love for Arianna. You know that's like the three main pillars, I would say.
How much of this are you able to keep? Because I have to cut everything out. I don't know if your sponsors even like me, so.
Yeah, probably like 30 seconds. I would say it's gonna be a quick one. Most of the episode's just gonna be the music.
It's gonna be, hey, this is the Experience Podcast with me and someone else, and it'll be our name.
And then static.
That's it. Thank you for listening.
I hit stop recording and the world ended. Let me tell you.